Hey guys, welcome back to a new video. So today in this video I'll be going over my personal classes of what I use in a typical game of Call of Duty. They're all my personal preference classes that I would use. Some of them have good mobility, good control, some are just balanced, and I'll be going through each section of the weapons category. So we'll start with assault rifles, we'll move our way down to snipers, skipping LMGs because I hate LMGs. So yeah. Hope you enjoy the video, and let's get on with the first weapon. So for the first one, the Kilo, which is an okay gun. I prefer the M4, but for this video I'm just going to use the Kilo. What I've used on it to give it the best accuracy and best control, with the downside of having less mobility but good fire rate, is if you use muzzle brake, what that does is it makes it so recoil stabilization is good. Only cons is the aim down sight speed is changed and the aiming stability is different, and that changes makes it lower. But recoil stabilization is a big one. You don't really need aiming stability if you can control your recoil. And then I've used SynGuard Arms 19.8 Prowler barrel, just because it offers the best range control and accuracy. Changes your damage range, your bullet velocity, recoil control. Only problems is it takes down your mobility, so you can't really move as fast with it or aim down sight as fast with it. Then I've opted to use a tack laser instead of all the other ones, because the tack laser is the one that makes it so when you aim in it turns on instead of having it constantly on. So if you're trying to sneak around the areas, plus the tack laser gives you more aim down sight speed, aiming stability, and walking steadiness when you're aiming. Just laser is not weird. Usually it only is visible when you're looking through it, but whatever. But it also gives the gun the best stats so far from all the other ones. And then you don't use an optic. This is just my personal preference. I don't like using optics. I feel like they get in the way in this game. Then I've gone with the SynGuard Arms Sniper Pro because it gives best control and accuracy. If you haven't told by the theme, this gun is meant for accuracy and control. And you could use a no stock. That takes down your things quite a bit, but improves your mobility, which some people like. But I prefer more mobility with SMGs just because they're smaller and lighter. And then for underbarrel, you're just going to use a tactical foregrip. Gives you ultimately the best control and accuracy and ups your range by a few. Yeah, aiming stability, movement speed is the only thing that's decreased. But if you're good enough at the game, movement speed doesn't really affect anything. And so yeah, for that is the Kilo and my personal preference on it and how I play my game with it. Our second class we're going to be talking about today is the MP5, and what I've opted for is an FSS Mini, because it gives the best mobility than all the other barrels. You could use a subsonic integrated suppressor. It's just, all it does is it doesn't do as much as what the SS Mini does. It just lowers your overall stats on the gun. Not my favorite, but it's up to you. And if you're going to use the MP7, I would prefer the Sand Desert, just because it makes the gun variant look better than the normal MP7, but the normal MP7 works. Then for stock, you're going to use an F-Tac collapsible. This is just to improve your mobility. Every attachment on this gun improves your mobility by a lot, making your aim down sight speed through the roof, as you'll see in the clips I show. And then for your rear grip, you're just going to use stippled grip tape. Again, improves your mobility, takes down your control, but not by much. If you have good mobility, you don't need control. Then you're going to use 10mm auto 30-round mags, just because they get more damage and offer more range. The only thing is fire rate and recoil control comes down. If you have good mobility, you don't need that, like I said before. And then you're also going to use a tactical foregrip. This just improves your control, so if you have good mobility, you kind of need to be able to control your shots still, so that the recoil isn't going all around your screen. So this just improves the aiming stability. And that is pretty much it for the MP5.
Kill confirmed.
Enemy at the warehouse.
Now for shotguns. I'm not really a big shotgun person in this game. They honestly just piss me off. But what you're going to need to make a relatively good shotgun class, I don't know if it's up for preference. This is just to have the best mobility type shotgun. I mean, you can make it better if you take a sawed-off barrel, but that just makes your range really crap. So what I opted to use is a 5 milliwatt laser. This just makes it so you have more hip fire and sprint to fire speed. No optic, because it's a shotgun. You don't really need a recon sight if you're using a shotgun. It's always close range, so you kind of see what's always happening in front of you. Then I've opted to use sawed-off stock, because it gives you the best mobility, and it only affects aiming, stability, and recoil control. And now that you know they only have 2 shots with this, you gotta hit your shot. So good mobility would be good, so you can lock on targets easier. And then the damage is through the roof because it's a shotgun, but you want to keep that range too, so you can stay from far away and shoot. The Merc foregrip is my underbarrel attachment for this, just because it gives control, accuracy, and range. You could use a tactical foregrip, but Merc foregrip increases all the stats, not induces. Ammunition, I would use slug rounds, because it just more damage, more range. And then for the guard, I would put Tempest Slim Grip, because it just increases overall mobility. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the shotgun. For marksman rifles, I've just gone with the MK2. It's up to you. Marksman rifles, they're alright in this game. They're a little glitchy, but what I use on mine is muzzle brake. I use a FS18 factory barrel, because this is more of a balanced, high accuracy gun. No optic, stock sleeve cartridge, so that just improves accuracy and control. Then I used rubberized grip tape for more recoil control and accuracy. And then for sleight of hand, because it makes it so you can reload faster, because you got to put bullets individually into this gun. So it just makes it so that you have more chances to get out into the action and not die from reloading. And so that's pretty much the marksman rifle. It's not my typical gun I would use. I would more use in a submachine gun or assault rifle, but that's just personal preference of the marksman class. It's the best one I can find, unless you use the car. The car, it's alright, faster at more damage and stuff, and better recoil. It's just you don't get as much shots. But yeah, so that's the marksman section. And the final class I'll be talking about is the AX50. It's a pretty good sniper. There's also the HDR, which is relatively better, but a bigger sniper, so it's harder to control and do quick shots and quick scopes and stuff if you want to do lock-ons. So my preferred preference for this is a compensator. All this does is it's recoil control, which makes your control and accuracy a little bit better. Then I use the 17-inch factory barrel, Um, it just gives more mobility. You could opt to use the SingGuard Arms Pro. All it does is it reduces that mobility, but increases everything else. But if you want to have like a good sniper for quick scopes and no scopes, I would go for this one just because it's smaller and it's easier to wave around quicker and aim in and out because of the mobility. Underbarrel, I just use a bipod, gives it more control when you're crouched or prone. Ammunition, you could use 7-round mags, but I don't choose to. It kind of lowers the mobility and control. Then I use granulated grip tape because it increases accuracy and control. This gun is more of like a good accuracy, good control, so if you're in those close situation quarter battles and stuff, you can just go and turn around, quick scope the people around you, and then go back onto your game. Then I use the SingGuard Arms of Vader, just because it gives it more mobility. You could use the Marksman, takes down your mobility, which is issues if you're trying to do quick scopes, but aim walking movement speed, it's pretty good. And that is pretty much it for all these classes. And these were my personal preference classes that I use in a typical game of Call of Duty. Your preference to certain guns may not be the same as mine. I don't really care. These are the ones that I use. And thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video.
Enemy personal radar overhead. We're taking the HQ.
Enemy down.
We have lost the HQ.
Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it if you dropped a like and subscribed if you see this. And congratulations for making it all the way to the end. But until next time, I'll see you in the new video next Wednesday.